Have a great day. Let's continue to practice our listening skills and vocabulary through daily podcasts with a variety of topics.
Michelle Obama. On January 17, 1964, a baby was born into a middle-class family in Chicago. She had a happy childhood. Her family had enough money, but they were definitely not rich. This little girl grew up to be Michelle Obama, one of the most famous women in the world. Michelle's parents believed in the importance of education. They always encouraged her to study hard and try her best. Michelle's grades were very good. They were good enough to get into Harvard Law School. When she graduated, she worked to help people and communities. Michelle met Barack Obama at her law firm. They fell in love, got married, and had 2 daughters. When Barack became president in 2009, Mrs. Obama became First Lady. They were in the White House for 8 years. During that time, Mrs. Obama worked hard to improve the lives of young people. Mrs. Obama was concerned about children's health. Many American children do not get enough exercise, and their diets aren't healthy enough. They eat too much fat and sugar. In 2010, Mrs. Obama started a program called Let's Move. It helped schools and parents make healthier choices for kids, and it helped kids get more exercise. Mrs. Obama was also concerned about children's education. She believed many young people stopped their education too early. She felt that a high school degree did not provide enough education. In 2014, Mrs. Obama started the Reach Higher program. Because of the program, thousands of young people continued their education in community colleges and 4-year colleges. In 2015, Mrs. Obama started Let Girls Learn, a program to help girls around the world go to school and stay in school. The Obamas are no longer in the White House. However, Mrs. Obama is still busy. She often visits schools and talks to students about the importance of education. Mrs. Obama continues to be a popular role model for young people, not just in America, but around the world.
Helen Keller. Do you know of anyone with a disability who did remarkable things? Helen Keller is a good example. She was an amazing woman. Helen Keller was a healthy baby, but when she was 19 months old, she had a sudden fever. The fever disappeared, but she became blind and deaf. Because she couldn't hear, it was difficult for her to learn to speak. As she grew, she was angry and frustrated because she couldn't understand or communicate. She became wild, throwing things and kicking and biting. When Helen was 7 years old, a teacher, Anne Sullivan, came to live with Helen's family. First, Anne taught Helen how to talk with her fingers. Helen was excited when she realized that things had names. Then Anne taught Helen to read using Braille. Helen learned these skills quickly. However, learning to speak was harder. Anne continued to teach Helen patiently. Finally, when Helen was 10 years old, she could speak clearly enough for people to understand her. Helen was very intelligent. She went to a school for blind students where she did very well. Then she went to college, where she graduated with honors when she was 24 years old. Helen traveled all over the United States, Europe, and Asia with Anne to raise money to build schools for blind people. Her main message was that disabled people are like everybody else. They want to live life fully and naturally. Helen wanted all people to be treated equally.